Well, good morning, folks. We don't have a lot going on this morning on the continental U.S., with the exception of maybe some snow in the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, maybe some freezing rain, possibly a little bit of light snow into parts of New York and northern Maine here, and the far northwest U.S., and some showers here in southern Texas. But yeah, pretty devoid of anything going on, any precipitation, right? And there's no threat of severe weather or excessive rainfall during this period as well. So the big story and the big discussion is on the potential for snow, especially in the eastern part of the U.S. in the coming days, and the cold as well. And we'll discuss that next. Good morning. My name is Tim Ealer, meteorologist. Hope you're doing well today. Like my video if you like it, and subscribe and share with your friends. And happy Monday, and let's get started. So as far as current hazards, really don't have a lot going on today. Um, of course, because there's not a lot of storms or precip ongoing here, right? But with the dry weather, uh, low humidities, we got a special weather statement for possible fire concerns. Freeze warning further to the southeast here in southeast Georgia. What's going on down here? Low water advisory. Weird advisory there. Some flood warnings still going on in Mississippi. Winter weather advisory along the eastern side of the Great Lakes here. Excuse me. Wind advisory in the parts of Massachusetts and New York. Special weather statement for blowing snow up here in northern Maine. All right. Out west, the central U.S., nothing going on. Out west, we have some dense fog, wind advisory in Southern California, cold weather advisory further to the north here, parts of San Francisco area, all along the west coast here, from Avenal points north to near Lakeport. Different marine advisories as well. Stagnant air further to the north here will lead to dense fog, and just if you have asthma, some concerns with that. So be careful out there today. Just generally stagnant air, not a lot of moving air, and pollution, things like that get caught and then stick around, and you breathe that stuff in, it's no bueno, right? So Montana, we got some wind advisories, and looks like high wind warning in the northern Montana today, as far as in 18 hours. We have this wind advisory here in Oregon, but overall, that's it for the nation for hazards for today. Had to get a drink of coffee here. As far as current temps go, below freezing for a good portion of the nation, right? What's interesting is temperatures in the deep south are just as cold as North Dakota here. Pretty even out, even temperatures here, right? Like throughout the nation, either, close to or above, it's barely above freezing here, with the exception of southern Florida, Miami 70, even South Texas in the 50s this morning. You see the dark blues are in the single digits to teens, but not a lot of those readings here. But even San Francisco, 43 right now, pretty cold here, 30s and 40s. Up in the mountains up here in California, 3 degrees Fahrenheit. A little bit warmer here in the northwest coast, but overall, just cold for a lot of the nation here. Even in Montana right now, it's in the 40s and 50s. So depending on where you're at. Well, this is a graphic showing the temperature trends for the different areas here for the week, right? Temperatures will gradually increase, and then on the 15th, you see the maximum temperature forecast. Up north, it's in the low 30s, nearing freezing for highs, right? Then warming up a bit again, but overall, pretty chilly. Warming up, 40s and then near 60 here in the middle Georgia area, right? Or South Georgia. And so quite a bunch of temperature swings as we go through this period here. All right, so this is created yesterday, 11 p.m., so pretty relevant. And humidity below today and Tuesday in east central Georgia. Light snow showers are possible in the mountains Wednesday night and Thursday morning. So there was a tornado in Carroll County this weekend. I went live for this for a little bit. Estimated peak winds 95 miles per hour. You see the track here. And bring up my pen so I can draw on this. All right. And so, yeah, tornado path, EF1 in the darker green areas, the start and end of this path here. And I was live when this was warning was going on. Path length about a mile or so, max width 150 yards. Luckily, no injuries or deaths with this. Moving on to the more detailed high temperature and precip chances for today. Generally in the 40s to low 50s, partly sunny to mostly sunny skies to sunny skies here, depending where you're at. Tonight, below freezing for most of the state, and farther to the north here, Blairsville, highest terrain in the 20s here. Clear skies. And tomorrow, again, warming up some, near 60 in far southern Georgia to the mid to upper 50s in North Georgia with sunny skies here. As far as the 15-day temperature outlook for middle Georgia, you can see here, excuse me, generally in the 50s with lows tonight below freezing, right? But on average, the highs below normal today, warming up to near normal tomorrow, but the lows quite cold here, below freezing, and warming up briefly. Then the bottom drops out on Thursday. Get a push of really cold air here, high 42, low 33. Then warming up some, then cooling off again. But you can see on average, either at normal or below normal temps here for highs until we get towards the end of January, and it looks to warm up some. But temperatures will be below freezing at night here for the foreseeable future up until about Thursday, the 22nd or so. So quite cold at night with pushes of cold air coming through the state, and then warming up towards the end of the period. As far as day 3 to 7 U.S. hazards, we're expecting the possibility of high winds in the northern high plains and the central plains, generally east of the Rockies, the 15th through the 16th. The heavy snow possible in parts of southern Alaska. Heavy precip, meaning like heavy rain, 15th, 16th, and 14th, and high winds possible here in the far southeastern Alaska as well. As far as days, 8 to 14 for the U.S. hazards outlook from the Climate Prediction Center. No heavy precip expected during this period, meaning no heavy rainfall expected 19th through the 25th. Snow, we still have the slight risk up here in the mid-Atlantic, northeast, all on the Great Lakes, roughly the 19th for the northeast to parts of mid-Atlantic, and further south, 19th to 21st here into the parts of the Appalachians. As far as wind goes, refresh this, make sure it's the latest. High winds possibly here, the 19th through the 20th in the northeast and the mid parts of the mid-Atlantic and along the Great Lakes. All right, so you see where the brown area is here. Hazardous temps. This is quite an expansion compared to yesterday of hazardous cold all along the eastern seaboard up into the upper Midwest and the parts of the northern high plains into the deep south all the way into middle Florida, central Florida, all along the Gulf Coast. 19th through the 23rd for the north, and 19th and the 20th further to the south here. As far as the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, January 17th through the 21st, you can see where the warmest temps are going to be out west, generally west of the Rockies, the parts of the Central Plains, with this, pretty stark delineation here between splitting the nation in half, below normal temps to the east, above normal temps to the west. Alaska, you can see different areas of near normal, above, below to the north, just depending on where you're at in Alaska. Hawaii, either above or near normal temps expected during this period, and Aleutian Islands looks to be all above during this period also. So 6 to 10 day precip outlook is not looking too favorable for precip for most of the nation here. So maybe near normal precip chances further to the north here in the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Northeast, and maybe right along the main coastline here, far southern Texas, into Florida, parts of Florida, Alaska and Hawaii. You can see they're above or below, with Hawaii all above, Alaska trending above to below further south, and near normal to above, depending on where you're at in the Aleutian Island chain. As far as 8 to 14 day temperature outlook and precip outlook, we'll start with the temperature outlook first. The northwest flow it still continues here, so we got the cold air to the north here, generally mid-Atlantic into the Great Lakes, upper Midwest, Ohio Valley, up into parts of the northern high plains here, near normal in between, above normal further to the west still, as this continues to be above normal. Below normal in Alaska, this continues to be the trend here. Above in Hawaii and the Aleutian Islands, back to the main Alaskan area here. The Aleutian Island chain starts here above normal, and the rest of it above normal as well. 8 to 14 day precip outlook. Different areas of above and below normal in the brown, above normal in the green. Majority of the nation near normal precip chances. Okay, and Hawaii above, parts of Alaska, depending where you're at, above and below. Big state here. That's why it's always split for the most part. And above to near normal precip chances in the Aleutian Island chain. As far as week 3 to 4 temperature outlook, and this is the end of January to the beginning of February, below normal with that northwest flow still. Temperatures here, equal chances in between, above normal further to the south and west here in the southern tier of the U.S. into the basically most of the southwest portion of the country here up into Oregon, parts of Idaho, Wyoming, Colorado, and pointing south here in the orange. Below normal out in Alaska here, above normal in Hawaii, equal chances to above or below in the Aleutian Islands here. As far as precip goes, maybe some above normal chances returning for precip in the Pacific Northwest, and to the southwest here some, into Montana, Wyoming area, Idaho. Equal chances in the white here, which is a good portion of the nation, right? Below normal up north here in the brown, possible, although not a lot of confidence, precip wise, one way or the other. Trending above, right along the eastern seaboard, mid-Atlantic, parts of mid-Atlantic, below into southern Florida, possible here for precip chances. And depending where you're at in Alaska, equal chances or below or above. Hawaii, above, trending above, and equal or below chances depending where you're at in the Aleutian Island chain as well. So as we talked about yesterday, there's a possibility of snow further south than it's been, this year, into the deep south, right? And the models are still working on this, there's been flip-flopping all over the place, right? So what we'll do is we'll start with the European model, which is arguably the most reliable, all right? And I'll also say that when you get past even 5 days out, dictating a specific forecast and where it's going to snow exactly is impossible to do, right? Maybe a general sense of it, and snowfall totals are definitely hard to forecast, right? So this is not a forecast, this is just a comparison of, I'm going to be comparing the European model, which is up here, the GFS, which is the American model, and the Canadian, all three global models, all right? So this is pretty much the beginning of the model run. This is 00Z, the latest run, okay, today. All right, so let's move forward in time here, because not a lot going on through Wednesday, right? You got low pressure up here. You have cold air pushing south, and it's pretty warm here further to the south, all right? So it looks like you may have some southern stream energy, maybe right there, northern stream energy here, and you got this surface low way up here, okay? So moving through this a little bit more, trough really digs here, right? But you never really get this connecting the dots, as some people would say, or coming together, at least on this run, okay, for nor'easter, right? But you have more of an inland event here. Energy transfer doesn't occur offshore until we get further to the east here, and you see possibly, some heavy snow up in the northeast, right? And on the back side of this, you have snowfall as well. Cold air is in place now, right? You can see where the cold air is, and the blue is the snow. So you have snow flying all over the place here. Cold east of the Rockies, with the 540 line really far south. This is 0 degrees Celsius. All right, so you can make out just general northwest flow here, right? And trough digging out west here. This is Saturday. Now look what happens here. Energy sweeping through the south. Cold air in place. All right. Look at that right there. Possibility of a swath of heavy snow here. This reminds me of last year, early this year in January's event. Maybe not the same thing, but quite impressive with that. How far south that is, right along the Gulf Coast into parts of Georgia, Florida, right? And this is Sunday, right around Martin Luther King Day. My granddaughter would love if it snowed again. We talked about it yesterday. Anyway, that swings through relatively quickly, right? But wherever that sets up, and my friend Mitch West would be happy about this. We got this swath of potentially heavy snow all the way up the eastern seaboard, right? Northwest flow continues here. And that system streams to the north here, right? Energy just pushes to the north. And you see what happens here. We have start establishing more of a still northwest flow, okay? That continues. We have the different boundaries it's set up, right? And along this boundary here, wherever this boundary sets up, the potential for freezing rain, and I've been seeing this on the model runs, and snow, depending on where this boundary is, okay? Different pieces of energy moving through the flow here. You see what I'm talking about? Same thing here. Trough tries to dig out west again some. Right, and then this is towards the end of the model run, so kind of uncertain at this point, but potential exists for some very impactful icing and snow towards the end of this model run, the 27th here. So, but in the short term, interesting trends here with this model, the European model. So we'll have to see what happens here. So this is the European Ensemble, right? And this is 51 members. And this is a probability of total snowfall greater than or equal to 1 inch. And the dark maroon areas, 100% chance of it being over an inch, right? And you would expect that further north. You see, through the short term, through Wednesday, expecting, you know, where the most snow is, northern to the U.S. You see this expands here, right? Moves further to the south, and you see towards the beginning of next week what happens here. We have some 10 to 20% probabilities here further to the south. So not a high probability of of snow greater than or equal to 1 inch, but it's there nonetheless. Something to keep an eye on. But you can see where the most snowfall is, right? We get to 6 inches. We look at this, 12 inches. Not nearly as bullish, right? But greater than 3 inches. So, so yeah. Go back to 1 inch here. Go through the end of the run. You see, most of the northern tier of the nation has gotten at least 1 inch of snow or more. So we'll see where this all sets up. But snow is going to push pretty far to the south here. At least some 20 to 30% probabilities here. So a lot of uncertainty further to the south, but we'll keep an eye on it here. So there's the Euro AI model. We're starting off Thursday, generally to Wednesday here. Right, you have on the system along the East Coast, maybe some enhancement of the flow here into maybe some precip in the Appalachians into the Northeast. That moves out, warms up a little bit here through, and then you have this trough digging, right? And you can see the energy for the south here. The Euro AI also picks up on this. So, but the 540 line's a little further north here. And we got to see where this sets up, right? And maybe some enhancement here along the coast. Northwest flow continues. Just different streams of energy moving through, and then we get this overrunning potential again. All the models are showing this in different forms here, right? You can see where this boundary sets up. So, we have a lot going on through the end of the month. Well, it's interesting because most of the nation we're not showing a lot of precip, but these events could be very impactful depending on where the snowfall sets up, especially freezing rain, things like that, especially towards the end of the month. So have to keep an eye on this. So now let's look at the GFS, the Global Forecast System, the American model. Don't really like this model, but sometimes it's right, but most of the time it's not. So compared to the other models. So this is starting off Tuesday. You can see where the different features are. Some energy here in the southern stream, northern stream, and up here in the upper Midwest. Okay, trough digs, kind of like the European, right? And we try to get a low pressure system form along the East Coast. And once the cold air pushes through, again, we have snow up in the Northeast, right? And that's part of this heavy snow potential moving forward here, right? And this model, interesting that it only goes out. Why is it only 105 hours? Wonder what's going on here. Guess it's not finished running yet. So let's go back to 0Z. All right. Then you have Saturday, right? You're into Saturday. You don't see a lot of southern stream energy here with this, which is interesting because usually the GFS picks up on southern stream energy, and I saw this yesterday too down in here Pacific, Eastern Pacific. It's almost like it's trying to develop a tropical system out here. I wonder if that's going to happen. Have to look at that. Not really impactful for us, but interesting nonetheless. Deep trough, really digging here, okay, but doesn't really bring the energy to the north here, or the southern states like the European does. We get into the 19th and 20th, more northern stream energy, flow dominated. Then you get some interactions here up in the higher terrain of basically the northern stream energy interacting here on boundary, right? Low pressure forming along the lee side of the Rockies. Dang, look at this here. And I saw this yesterday too. Ice. The red is ice. The orange is freezing. The red is like freezing rain. The orange is maybe sleet and different snow to the north here. So wherever this boundary is and stays, then you have another potential icing event here. Maybe a little bit further north. And then another one further to the north here as a zonal flow kicks in, right? And then you have more northern stream energy further to the north and the northwest here. So towards the end of the period, I think it's going to pick up as far as moisture, at least for the northern U.S., right, along the west coast. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. So this is a GFS ensemble, showing the same graphic as the European ensemble with probability total snowfall greater than or equal to 1 inch. All right, and this is the previous model run. There's a model run that's running right now, but it's not done yet. So go along here. See, it really picks up here, especially into the Great Lakes, upper Midwest. Not so much along the East Coast, the probabilities, although it does push further to the south here. yeah, so we get to 28 January, a good portion of the central U.S., northern U.S., even points south here, have the potential to have greater than an inch of snow here. So, yeah, I mean, definitely worth watching. So what is the AIGFS show? This is one of the newest models out there. And so I'm going to conclude this as well as the European AI model, right? And then it doesn't show snow or p-type. It just shows precip and 850 millibar temperature, right? So precip in inches, right? You have your northern stream energy moving through southern stream. You can see that system moves through the flow here, but we don't get development of any precip um, in the deep south. But we do have precip in here into the northeast and way up into Canada, right? So we go through Thursday, low lifts out. The AIGFS here develops some semblance of precip along the spine of the Appalachians, the eastern seaboard, and the deep digs a deep trough here, right? This is Sunday, okay? Northern stream energy comes through the flow, and you continue to have this, right? With more southern northern stream energy meeting up here. Once again, see the overrunning potential here, all right? And it depends where this sets up, guys, but then you have like a cold front really push through here and kind of clears that out. Then you have this energy over the west. So, yeah, a lot to figure out, guys. So, next we'll do the European AI model. Okay, so moving on, we got the Canadian here, right? Canadian model. Moving through Wednesday, we have this system in the north, right? And depicted well by all the models. And it doesn't develop the East Coast storm that much, but it does have some energy further to the south here. Although it's in the form of showers here, not snow or anything. A potential Appalachian snow, but you can see the trough here really digging to the west here. So let's see what happens if we move through time with this. Swings through the energy, low pressure at the surface here, moving to the northern stream energy. This really gets going here, right? Kind of an interesting scenario if this plays out. It looks like you have multiple areas of energy here, not really consolidating further south like the Euro, and potential East Coast storm, at least according to this model, on Martin Luther King Day. Some more energy moving through the northwest flow, and that's where this model run in. So the European's really the only one showing southern snow here, at least right now. So we'll have to see how this plays out. As far as the Canadian Ensemble goes, let's go through this as well, showing the probabilities of precip snow greater than an inch here. Go through time, 18th, 19th. Very similar to the GFS, although a little further south. And really, the European is the only one that shows snow probabilities further to the south here into the deep south. So right now, looks like GFS and Canadian, the ones that agree more. So, and this is pretty far out here, a week out. So we still have time to watch this in the short term. Just repeated rounds of snow and cold temps further to the north and intrusions further south as well. So in closing, we definitely have a pattern that supports southern snow, but especially snow in the northeast, parts of the mid-Atlantic, upper Midwest. You can see that as the cold air different outside cold air pushed through on this GFS model run. So, you know, like I said, we're just going to have to keep monitoring this for model consensus. And for the longer term, there's not a lot of model consensus, especially 7 days out. But, you know, we have pretty good confidence in the short term where things are going to be. So let's just keep an eye on it. I hope you all have a good day, and God bless.